Alright everybody, take a look at this. This prop has seen better days. So what we're going to do today is we're going to change out a 3-blade Volvo Penta SX propeller, like you see here. This is your stock aluminum. If you can catch in there, this is a 14.5 by 19. The pitch on this, being 19, is kind of designed for top end, more speed than anything. And one of the things that I noticed with this propeller that I didn't really care much for was the fact that it takes quite a lot for the front end to come down. And this is basically from your initial start. And yeah, so talking to my propeller people at Nettle Propellers in town, they recommended we try going to a 4-prop. So let's take a look and see what that 4-prop looks like compared to this stock Volvo 3-blade aluminum one. Okay, now as I said before, you know, we're looking for low end torque. Basically we're trying to maximize low end as much as possible. So Nettle recommended we go with this, and this is kind of different. If you're used to the single hubs with basically no interchangeable hub like this design is, and I'll get into that here in a little bit, this is going to be kind of new for you, so we'll go over everything. So what we got here is a 15 by 17 4-blade right hand stainless steel. This one made by PowerTech, and like I said here, I've got the hub itself. This is designed for 1994 Volvo Penta SX, and let's open it up and show you what we got here. Just so you're aware, part number is RBX 105. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see here is what they call an aft spacer, and then we'll reach in here, and this is the actual RBX hub. Let's see if we can get this out. It's basically a spline encased in rubber. The whole idea behind this is, you know, it's good anywhere between 150 up to 300 horsepower. If you hit something, instead of wrecking the gears in your lower unit, you end up just spinning this out instead. Basically is insurance for your lower unit. And then you see here it comes with a thrust washer. So those are going to be your 3 items with your hub kit right here. So let's open up this PowerTech propeller. Take a look at that. I mean, you're gonna like this. Saved you some of the time of watching me unpack that box. Let's get right to the good stuff. Yeah, take a look at that. So pretty neat, right? We got 4 individual propellers. Blades, sorry. Be nice if you had 4 individual propellers. That'd be kind of neat. But yeah, so take a look in here. You'll see how what we were talking about earlier is there's no splines in this hub. It's kind of a universal propeller in some ways, you know, other than like your diameter. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right there. 4 blades, stainless steel. This is a beauty right here. So you probably see in my prior videos in terms of taking off all this business in here. Pretty easy. Let me show you the tools, what we're going to be using. Alright. So use the Leatherman as needle nose to pull the cotter pin out. Then we've got my ratchet, and then a 2x4. And I use the 2x4 to wedge the blade up against the lower unit, and it kind of allows us to loosen that 1/16, just in case you haven't seen my other video. 1 and 1/16. All right, so let's go ahead, switch over here, and let's start by removing this cotter pin. Okay, so removing a cotter pin, pretty easy, right? With the castle right there. All right, so here's where your 1 and 1/16 socket goes on. And just remember, you want to stick your 2x4 against here and then wedge it on this side. All right, so let's go ahead and do that and loosen this nut up. Okay, and you can see I used, I actually flipped the 2x4 around the other way and used the scag at the lower unit, or in the lower unit, on the lower unit, however you want to say that, as leverage. Probably easier than going that route up there. You see that crack on the scag? I didn't do that. I was like that when I got it. We're going to do another video to show you how to repair that without a TIG welder. You're going to like that video, I promise. Alright, anyway, let's go back here. You don't need to see me loosen this thing up. It's pretty well loosened up. But sure, let's take a look anyway. Comes off pretty easily here. Alright, let's grab some of the spacers. Yep, that's loose. Now, I've never had this this prop off before, so I'm not really sure the condition. I can see some, yeah, looks like some gasket sealer on there, so we'll see how easy this thing is to get off. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, come on. Way too easy. Way easy. Alright, but there you go. There's that aluminum prop. If you're interested in seeing the process for getting these repaired, let me know in the comments. I'll talk to Nettle and maybe we can work out something where you know, we show the viewers on how they can take this piece of garbage and make it look brand new, because trust me, they can. Here, in fact, let me show you what some of their work is that they've done on my my Cobra. Yeah, here's a shot of mine. This is a different pitch and diameter, of course, but take a look at these blades. You should have seen. This is a Viper, by the way. You should have seen what this looked like before they fixed it. Attention to detail. Never seen anything like it before. But yeah, got the receipt in there still. But yeah, that's what they can do. I mean, they can turn something like this into something brand new. And no lie, this has been dented and repaired 2 times. Pretty significant damage, and they made it all the better. But anyway, enough about the Cobra. Let's go back to the Penta 4-blade like we got here. All right, so let's take a look. Our thrust washer here. Oh, look at that. Pretty common, right? Fishing string. You want to get this out, otherwise it's going to rip up your seals in your lower unit. So I'm going to spend some time figuring out which way this spun around and kind of work its way out. So if you find any on yours, I suggest you do the same as well. But this is going to take a little bit. I already know it. Ha! Guess not. Get that fishing string out of here. Alright, let's take a look here while we're in here and just make sure this looks okay. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and put this 4-blade on. Okay. Found a little bit more fishing string in there I had to remove. So one thing you're going to notice about the thrust washer is this thrust washer, diameter wise, is too big. The one right here is the one you're going to need to put on. If you notice, the propeller needs to sit on this inside diameter. Let's flip it around so you can kind of see. Yeah, too big. So basically what you got to do is you got to get this thrust washer off and replace it with the RBX. All right, so let's get started with getting this thrust washer off. Have you seen on my prior videos, I've used this to pull out bearing carriers. I swear this is like one of my most universal boating tools here. It's the same tool. Go back to my my bearing carrier tool, bearing carrier removal video. Check out how I use this, but this is what I'm going to use again. It's got links that have been cut out. I was thinking, maybe I can just tap this thrust washer out, but I don't know. I'm just going to use the puller. I've got it here. So I'm going to go ahead and hook everything up and then crank this thing off that way. Probably the best route to do it. But I'm not worried about marring this thing up because I'm not planning on reusing it. I'm going to be using the new thrust washer, but that's just the way I'm going to do it. And yeah, take a look. All right, so when I was toying with that puller, it actually just popped off. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it actually was. And it wasn't. It was easy. All right. So there's still a lot of leftover gasket compound on here. I'm going to wipe that off and put my stuff on there because I know my stuff's good, fresh. And then we'll get this new thrust washer on. Okay. Cleaned it up pretty good. Gasket sealing compound. Just run that on here. You can also run the marine grade grease on it. I've seen people use both. I do both on mine. Comes off just fine. If you don't like that method, just use marine grease, but this is my favorite stuff. I use it on everything marine wise. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply this and then get that thrust washer on. Okay, you got the new thrust washer and we got our output shaft on here. And remember, there is a wrong way to install this. If you install it like that, you're wrong. Install it like that, you are right. All right, and that goes like that. Let's talk about the RBX hub. Let me go grab that real quick, and we'll get that pre-assembled. Okay, so I went through all the instructions here. You know me, I like to put gasket compound on everything. So I'm going to put it on inside on these splines, and then I'll put a little bit on the rubber piece. Didn't say not to do it, so why not? Okay, so I got the RBX hub. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna slide it in there like that. Make sure it's all the way seated. I'm gonna wipe off my hand because you can already see how I dirtied up this really nice looking stainless steel propeller. I like to try to keep it clean, at least until, I don't know, whatever. But there you go. All right, so we got, just to recap here, we got the thrust washer in place. We got our gasket compound there. We've got our RBX hub installed into our new 4-blade 15 by 17 stainless steel PowerTech propeller. Let's go ahead and install this. All right, what do you think about that? God, it's pretty, huh? 4-blade stainless steel. Tell you what, I like that. One thing, a good idiot check, right? If you're doing this yourself without a professional like Nettle that I went through, make sure you're not hitting your lower unit here, right? Just a quick check. So we're good. Went through the professional, so I am not worried about nothing. All right, so you can see the RBX hub. We've got a little gap right there, and that's what that little spacer piece was that we looked at earlier. That's where that comes into play. Okay, so when it comes to this Aft spacer. There are two distinct sides. You can put this on backwards. Check it out. All right, what about that? That is definitely wrong. Don't do that. All right. Kind of use a little bit of logic there, and you can kind of see how it makes a nice little edge right there, but that's it. All right, so let's move on to the next step. Let's get the spacer on and the nut, and let's get tightening that. Okay, so real quick, when I say spacer, yeah, don't put the spacer on. You don't need that. All right, just take your nut and thread that all the way down, and that will suffice. All right, just like that. Okay, let's talk torque. What do we torque this at? Okay, grab your torque wrench and set it up between 70, 80 foot-pounds, and go ahead and tighten that nut up. So yeah, obviously same thing as before. When you go to tighten this thing up, make sure you have your wood there. All right, there you go. Yeah, 70 to 80 foot-pounds of torque on this is not fun. Whew. But it works once you get it. All right, so let's put the castle on it and the cotter pin, and let's clean this thing up and show you what this thing looks like. Okay, what do you think there? Got the castle on there, cotter pin. I tell you what, everybody, this 4-blade is nice. You cannot beat that. Take a look down in the hub, so you can actually see down all the way. And this is cleaned. There's a little shake on it here, make sure there's no wiggle in there, but no, that's good. I'm really excited. People at Nettle, they said that this is going to help a lot with keeping that front end down. There's going to be a lot more low end torque with this pitch. So let's take it out. We'll do a post review on it and see what it does, but this is really impressive. Here's a shot of the information on the side of it here, if it'll focus. Yeah, PowerTech, everybody. So pretty awesome. I can't wait to take this out. I'm actually going to take this out now on the water and see what it does. So stay tuned for the next video. Thinking about putting a hydrofoil on here and doing some more testing, but we're gonna wait and see what happens with this new 4-blade. So as always, everybody, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like. Have a good one. See you again.